So beautiful. So weird. The effect's not quite the same on film. So we're on our way in a snowstorm to go try to find someone that's lost in the woods. You'll say a prayer.
Proverbs 22:6. Train children in the way they should go. When they grow old, they won't depart from it. And we'll pray. Father, we thank you just for another good day, another blessed day. We thank you for all your protection and your provision and just your endless blessings. We thank you for this stream and the people that will watch it. We thank you for listening ears, Lord, and open hearts that will receive the knowledge that we're trying to share here. We thank you for this family that we'll talk about tonight. We thank you that they had the eyes to see and the ears to hear. We pray your protection over that family, Lord, that you'll keep their land safe. And we just thank you for the opportunity to meet them. Thank you for all the people that you bring into our life. We pray for a smooth electronics tonight, that there not be any problems. We love you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen. I'm Lead Tracker E, and this is Jerry Williams, also known as Lead Horse Choctaw. We have 4 Facebook group pages: the Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers and Surrounding Areas, the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMB, MAN, and Son Center and Database, the Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path, and the Lead Tracker E page. We also have the Lead Tracker E channel, and we encourage you to sub to that channel as well. It's growing, but it needs to grow faster. It goes with this channel. We put some things on there that we don't put on here, and they just go together. So let's get that one built up, if you would, please.
Also, our new webpage, you can type in predatorbigfoot.com, and you will go to the Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path. There you can order books, the DVD, but it'll also link you to a playlist that has, like the spiritual, it'll be linked together and things like that. You'll find that there. So go there soon. Hopefully we'll have some shirts and some cups on there. That's still something that we're not got to yet, because we're still working on so many things and we're just busy all the time. So but hopefully we can get to some shirts and some especially for the trackers. We need to get some tracker shirts up there and some cups and things like that for you. The new book, well, it's been out for about a year and a half. Predator Bigfoot and the Spiritual Warrior's Path. Also now it is in the new Spanish version for our Spanish speaking friends, and it was written and translated by CTN Tanya Marquez.
Very grateful for that.
And it is titled Pa Grande, el Depredador y el Sendero del Guerrero y Espiritual. The Spanish version. And we just need to get it out. And we will have a book signing with that pretty soon. Carlos, we also got one headed your way as soon as possible. And Elastic Machinery, we haven't got to the post office yet as far as the time to where we can get you the things that you ordered. So bear with us. We're looking this week. We're looking at
our board fell down.
Yeah, that's our board. I put it up there because in the other area we changed over our table and everything, Yeah, I couldn't see it from that area, so I tried to put it over in this area, and it's kind of like a matter of time. Oh, let me turn this one off too, because it may be pulling power. Wait a second.
And both those books are available now. They're both available on Amazon.
Oh, and with the we are having a sale, the 2-for-1 sale. The Bigfoot documentary by itself is $55. So you'll get one autographed book and one Bigfoot documentary. Together, the Bigfoot documentary, you'll see Bigfoots. You'll see pictures of them. You'll see some in a tree moving around. A lot of people has already been able to see these things, but we're just showing you some of these things that are live, so they're not mythical, so that you know and that you see these predators, as many people have. Tracking miracles and encounters.
That is a segment that is on the Lead Tracker E channel. We have a playlist already up. Go ahead and watch that, and as soon as we can, we will be adding to that. That's where we talk about God's divine intervention and divine orchestration. We want to take notice of those things, and we have more stories to add. There's just not enough hours in the day right now, but we will get to it.
We're getting there.
Also, the Standing Feather Stories, which is Jerry Leadhorse Choctaw's history and the backside of the news that most have not heard. That's also a playlist on the Lead Tracker E channel. And he was the last man standing at Standing Rock. They illegally arrested him for being a protector of the water and the land there. And this is a story that you didn't hear about on the front side of the news. We're all used to being lied to there and getting a totally different version of events. And on the Standing Feather Stories, you will hear about those occasions.
I was just going to say, I just remember that the only two reasons I went was because the children were calling for help, and a Warrior Society called me and asked me to go to help out with the security, and because they have warriors up there, and they wanted me to go and help them out. So, and it was just to train them with security measures while we were up there. And I stayed till the very end.
And the people that were there and arresting don't realize you're protecting their water too.
Yeah.
Their land, their resources.
Also, if you'd like to help the channel out, you can become a Patreon member. Or we also have Cash App or PayPal, and that's in the link below. And also we have Super Chat. Let me go ahead and get that going also.
With this Super Chat, just know that YouTube takes 30% out off the top.
Yeah, so if you want to...
We appreciate anything, we just want you to know, be aware of that.
And if you want to help out directly and straightforward, it's Cash App or PayPal is the quickest way. And they take out only a few pennies. But
even old-fashioned snail mail.
Yep, even snail mail will work. Also, everything is appreciated, like Lead Tracker he said, and you see what we use the funds on. Now, this that we're talking about tonight, we was pretty much out of the funds, but we talked with the family beforehand. They asked us if we could go to this area. And in the beginning, I mean, it was a week before we said yes, and then we also had to go to another area for our family reunion. So it was, going in two different directions, which are an hour and a half apart. That we was like, well, really don't think that we can afford to, but we can go one day, hopefully. And we was able to do that. But the family did give us some funds for fuel, and we do appreciate that very much because it got us home and got us something to eat.
And got us to get to go there a second day.
Yeah. Also, this is not an entertainment channel. This is a tracker channel. It's a serious channel and serious matters. So if you're new to the channel, we'd like you to know that we don't have conversations in here, no foul language, anything that's going to be distracting from the lesson, the interview, or the guest. So we do have moderators, and they will take you out quickly. We ask them to do that. And if you are someone that we know and you don't know all this, and they'll tell you, save your questions for the end. And if you ask questions why and things like that, they will take you out. But just message us, and we'll take care of that and get you back. But also, if you're wanting to watch the channel, try to get here while we're doing this so that you know the standard that we're going at or using. We do answer the comments that are related to the topic. Right after we get through with this, we love saying hi and seeing and meet and greet each other. You know, say hi to each other. We love that. That there's friends are showing up, and the new viewers. You're welcome here too. Just know that we have rules here, and we at the very end is where we take the questions and the comments, answer those at the end. But sometimes we can have them at the middle. If the guest or the interview needs a break or something, we can answer those questions, or they can answer those questions for you. But most of the time, we just want to listen to the guest, or during the lesson, we just want you to listen. So let's try to hold down the conversations or be a distraction in the room. And if you do that, then you're always welcome, and no moderators will take you out. But they will if you become a distraction.
And that's simply because we want to keep you safe. We want to keep everyone safe with the information. That's why we're here. So.
For the information. Okay, let's see who's on here. And you want to use your phone or?
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to go to comments now and see who's all here. We love saying hello to everybody. I'm not sure. This computer's okay, I just need to push that so I can get going up. It lets me go up a little bit. That's why I'm trying to. I don't know why. And we're trying not to use two computers because it's been a problem as far as but even this one may be a problem with the comments. So okay, I'm almost at the top here. No, it's not letting me go all the way to the top.
Do you have Doris first?
No, it's not going to the top.
Okay, I have Doris first.
Okay.
I don't know if this is the first message, but if it is, Doris is the first one in the room. Hola, Doris.
All right, because I've got War Chief as the first one in the room. It's not letting me go up. And further. Oh, there it goes.
It's working now?
No. Well, I mean, it's letting me go up a little further. There we go. All right. Yeah, okay. There we are. Doris. Doris Diaz. Hola, ¿cómo está? Tracker Lorna.
Bendiciones, Doris.
Bendiciones.
Lorna.
Lorna. Tracker Lorna.
Edward Kung Fu.
Edward Kung Fu. I hadn't heard from you in a little while.
Glad to see you. God bless you.
And he says, hey, Jerry Williams, lead tracker E, and everyone in chat. Sorry. And everyone in chat tonight. God bless you all. Praying for you all.
Thank you.
Joyce is here.
War Chief. Where are we?
Oh, there it is. I'm sorry.
Okay.
War Chief.
Joyce. Okay,
War
we're
Chief.
We're together.
Okay. Now, Joyce.
Hey, Joyce.
There's Joyce. Everybody saying hello
to
Joyce. JR.
Hey, JR.
JR is here.
Good to see you.
Okay.
JR is a wordsmith.
He sure is. Cubinator. Cubinator is here. All right. Let's see. Mary is here.
Hey, Mary.
All right. Cheetah is in the room. How you doing, Mary? She says, I heard this afternoon that they are seeing a lot more Bigfoots in Missouri than usual. If you watched that stream last night, they're everywhere, and a lot of people are seeing them in these small towns. A lot more there, and people are paying attention now.
And in the cities of the big, in the big cities too, even.
And I would say with this channel, people know that we're serious, and we're showing you where to look, and people are being able to find where these places are. Everybody saying hello to Mary.
Tyler is here. Hey, Tyler.
Tyler is here. All right. Tyler Guerin, looks like.
Good to see you.
Hard to see that name. It's kind of small. Graybeard.
Hey, Graybeard. Thank you for your help this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you for letting us know everything was going either good or bad, or bad or good. But we got it good now. Tracker J, but it's going by Lyrical Jazzy.
Hey, Tracker J.
Tracker J is here. Yeah, mine don't let me go down too much, so everybody's saying hello to each other. Joyce is there, Graybeard.
Cube, thank you for the super chat.
Cubinator, thank you so much.
Cube has had the predator Bigfoots in his yard. He's been dealing with. He worked so hard. Cube, if you want, put your Facebook page group in the chat. It's a good page, and you deserve far more respect than you have been getting. You work very hard to teach people. Mm-hmm. Cube is also one of our trackers.
And Joyce is one of the new moderators, and she says, I'm here with the sword of the Spirit.
There you go.
She's ready to take some people out.
That's the toughest weapon.
And War Chief says, I'm back. Halito to everyone that's came into the last 5 minutes or so. All right.
Halito. Bob is back.
Cubinator's also saying, I got Tracker Lorna as the first. She's the first one came in.
Oh, okay. So we may have missed some.
No, we wouldn't got it.
Oh, okay.
Bob is here. Bob is here. He's you're gonna have to watch Bob, and Bob has he's a moderator at most places. We didn't get you on just yet, but we will. And Bob is gonna soon be a moderator for us and help us out, take some people out.
Edward Kung Fu says he's been a little sick, but he's okay now. Glad you're doing better, Edward.
Good.
And glad to see you. And Q put his Facebook link in the chat.
And that is...
He works very hard. He's a very patient person with explaining the things that he's learned in this book and from our tracking course and from being a tracker here, and also things that he's learned on his own through the years. He's been tracking a long time. He brings his own special set of skills, and we're very proud to have him.
And that is the link to there, but this is what it's also called on Facebook, Tracking Bush Predators Australia. So, and
he puts up with a lot of grief.
Thank you, Ella.
You're welcome.
Puts up with a lot of grief, and
it's undeserving.
Absolutely it is
undeserved when all he's trying to do is warn people and keep them safer.
And this also goes with the people who has sightings, the people who know the truth. They're all going to go through this, but you have the truth with you, and you just keep going, just like us. We also had to tread those waters and go through that mud.
Not so much anymore. People have.
Once they know that we know what we're talking about,
we don't back down,
and that we're not going to back down.
Yeah.
And we show them exactly what we're looking at or what they need to look at. And plus, we don't mind blocking people.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Plus, we block with abandon.
And you'll see some of these other channels.
Nobody got time for that.
Yeah. You'll see some of these other channels with people in their chat, foul language, making, saying bad things, I guess you would say. But here, it's not going to happen because we have a room full of moderators. They're all still sharing the information. They know the truth.
And we just don't want anyone muddying the waters. We want one clear message getting out, and that's that these things are predators and how to deter them, how to detect them.
Yeah, and if they use these techniques, make their families safer.
Mhm.
So let me load something real fast. It'll just take a second.
Judy's here. Haven't seen you in a little while, Judy. How you?
And also, when we do start this film here in just a little bit, adjust your dials, adjust your
The
volume.
music's really loud on it.
Yeah, it comes up really. We even have to turn ours down a little bit.
If you have headphones on, you'll have to turn it down then.
And how are you doing, Judy? And also, Cubaner says he never backs down. There's Graybeard. He's saying hello to Judy.
Good. Judy also knows that these predators are right there
Amongst her area.
watching the kids. That's our
And-
main concern, how their unhealthy obsession with the children.
And there's so many other channels that'll say that these things wouldn't do that, and they're just curious. But these things are up in towns. They're looking in kids' windows. They're tapping on kids' windows. They're
Mimicking parents.
trying to call them out, trying to be their friend, to get them to come out to the woods alone.
If you haven't watched last night's live stream, go back and listen to that, because there's a lot of information of exactly what we're talking about. So many things that are in our book are happening to this family in this little town called Wright City.
Yeah, the entire town has all got sightings all the way around there. And if there's only a few people doing things about it. We can't say that about these authorities because they don't know yet, or they haven't been taught. But there's a lot of people who are willing to help them and teach them. Judy says she's doing much better, War Chief. And Judy says we're absolutely right. And so tonight we're going to bring a video to you, but we're also going to explain how we got to be a part of this track.
Go ahead. Oh, okay. Well, we started out at a vending opportunity it was a native fashion show that we went to a couple hours away from here and further west in Oklahoma, and met a lot of great people there, and we were selling our books. And one of the ladies that we met there, we had a long conversation with her. We go with the setup of the bows and everything we can to teach. We're not just there to sell the books. We're there to talk to anybody who will listen to us, and to teach them. And some people would get that little mocking smile on their face when we're trying to explain to them or their children what to be concerned about, what to watch out for, what kind of predators are out there. And we don't do it in a terrifying way. We're just doing it in an informative way to keep them safer. And then there was other people that took us, for the most part, more took us very seriously, because most have either had an experience themselves, or one of their family members or friends have had experiences with these predators. And so one of the people we met is a woman, but we didn't get a chance yet to ask her if she wanted us to say her name, so we won't right now.
There was also another Indian. Is a lot of Indian vendors there, but we had overheard through another person who come up to our table and said, that guy over there says, you don't believe that, do you? Or there's no such thing as Bigfoot. And well, we said, well, if he's Indian, how come he doesn't know? How come he doesn't, has nobody taught him? Why has his grandparents said for an Indian not to know this stuff? Because almost all Indians that we know, unless they haven't been taught by their grandmothers, it's like they don't get the information, and sometimes we use the term city Indian, meaning they don't have the traditions, and they haven't been taught about even tracking, or even how to hunt, or what the forests even look like, because they've lived in the city for so long. But if they haven't been taught by their parents or their grandparents about these creatures, then they're the ones that kind of scoff and kind of mock a little bit. But
Or their knowledge comes from stupid TV shows.
or those other YouTube channels. But by the end of, because there were so many Indians there, that by the end he had actually bought a book and a DVD, because he wanted to learn what we were teaching about. Because he would come up to the table and just listen, and we would talk to different people. They're talking about encounters and things like that, and we're saying, well, this is that, this is this, and giving them all the information. And then finally, he come up, he made his way up, and he's like, I always thought it was just a myth or something, and that people were just kind of making it up. And we said, no, these things are real. And why don't you know this? You're Indian. How come you don't know this? And basically, he has never been taught. So he said, but I want to know. He said, I want to learn. If it's real, I want to learn, to protect my family. So he said, well, if you want to do that, this is where you start. This has got more information than anyone has ever put out in the world. And also in the DVD, you'll see the Bigfoots. You'll see the pictures of them and where we went, so that you don't have to go. But if you go these places, you will know exactly what you're looking at. And so he actually bought the DVD and the book, and we're grateful that he did that to help his family. But this other woman, she had bought the book and the DVD, and she went on about her way and doing her other things. And later on, she came back, and wonderful woman. If you ever met this woman, you would, even her voice is so kind. Just listening to her, and her eyes are real kind.
Intelligent woman.
And I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're doing good.
I was talking about the other guy because I just remembered him. And but and so she said that she lived near us in this area, and we said, well, those are active areas. Well, even in the towns that we're at, Broken Arrow, Norman, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, even in those areas, there's activity in the towns, in those small parks. And we talked with her for a little while, and you just want to talk to her. And even whenever we weren't vending, we were talking to her over, in another place. And her sister, very kind people. And she said that she has a family reunion in this area, what we're talking about tonight. And so one day, she gave us a call because she had her card, and we let her know if we'll be in that area when she is, if we're close enough, or if we're not on assignment or something, that we may be able to have coffee or something. Which reminds me, and so one day she gave us a call, and she says, I'm going to be in that area, me and my sister, and if you would like to come down and visit, look around our land while we're there, you're more than welcome. And we took her up on that offer.
Mm-hmm.
And so we drove to meet her, and we had a designated place and time to meet, so we were there.
And her sister.
And so we followed her up to her land area. And when we got there, because we didn't want to waste any time, we said, well, we're going to go do a quick track, and we'll be back in just a little bit. And we'll let you know what we find, and if there's anything, then we'll bring that information back. We did a quick scout. There was sign. Actually, there was a big tree when we pulled up.
Yep. First thing, right outside the corner of the house, a giant pull down.
Right where it should be, and it was a big one too. It wasn't a small tree. That big pull down from that big oak tree took a lot of power to pull that tree down to make it into a blind. So we said, well, there's sign here, and she said, well, I don't know when that tree fell, but it wasn't here before, so and she talked about getting someone up here to cut it down and everything. So we just said, okay, well, we're going to do a quick scout, and we'll be back in just a little bit. So we did our quick scout, and when we got back, she asked us if we went down to the river, and we said no, that we were just scouting the top area. And then she told us there's a pasture and a swimming area where everybody goes, or they used to go, but it's very beautiful. So we said, yeah, let's take a walk. And she went and showed us around, but on that way down there, we're seeing bulbs, we're seeing pull downs, we're seeing structures, we're seeing blinds, we're seeing tracks.
And you'll find information on all of those, what we're talking about, starting on page 123 of the book and going on through about 145. So you know exactly what we're talking about. But when we say bow, this is what we mean.
And trees grow vertical. They don't, because the sun is up there. They're going towards the sun. They're not being, they don't grow back downward. These are bows, these are traps, and they don't, not strategically put in certain places, corners where roads meet, around corners, mailbox areas where you turn and go into your home driveway, across the road from your mailbox, if that's a wooded area and you don't have any wooded area around your mailbox, there will be, or it'll be in a grass or a bushy area across that mailbox, because they know that you're coming to check that mail, or this is where the kids get on the school bus. So we got to pay attention, and it's all in the book also. So she walks us down there, and we're, you know, she's saying, well, that tree wasn't like that last time I was here, and one was kind of weaved in, the branch was weaved in. So she goes, that's, you know, that's odd, that's not normal, even for someone who she knew that there was things going on and she wanted to check it out, but even her, she was like, this is not a normal way a tree would be. You know, even if it fell, it's going to fall straight. It's not going to fall this way, then wrap around another tree, then be pushed down, right where the road's coming and things like that. So she knew there was things going on, but we're pointing things out and saying, yes, there's activity here. And so she tells us that, you know, she's having this is where they had the family reunion. And if we're not busy during that time, that, you know, maybe we can come out and show her sons what to look for, and maybe talk to her family. And so she gives us a call again.
Is this the one? Is that the one with her?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, I'm going to put the link to our original visit with she and her sister
How long is that? Oh,
5 months ago. But I'll
Okay.
put that link in the comments.
Okay. Oh, and then the one that she's going to put in, if you check that link out also, you're going to see that big tree that wasn't there this time, because they're having a family reunion. They cut that tree down, because if you don't, it's just in the way, and where they're going to be camping and doing some activities would be blocked off. But she went back and had her kids, which are men. I don't want to say kids, I'm sorry. They are.
Yes, and the mother is an elder and her sister are elders.
Yeah. The men are hunters, and they've been in that area. So they know what's normal in that area and what's not, and what's different. So we get that call, but we're also having our family reunion at the same time. And like I said, it's about an hour and a half away from each area. Not from where we're at, but we have to go this way for our family reunion, and then go this way for her family reunion, and then we have to come back. And so we're trying to. In my family, they understand what we do. They know this is what we do, and that we help a lot of people in this situation. So it's an honor to go and help another family. And these are Creek. I think there's a little bit of Kiowa, some Cheyenne, and Choctaw in just this one family. And nationality, other nationalities. So when we get the call, we let our friend know that, you know, yes, we do have a family reunion at the same time, and that at the same time yours is, but we'll work it out. We'll find the best times, and um, we're gonna work it out. That's what we're gonna do. So we kind of juggle everything, and but when on the and I didn't get any brisket, or we didn't get any brisket. If my family watches this, because they ate it up, and they were supposed to save us some, because we said we gotta go to this other place, about an hour and a half away. Go
Next year we'll still be fussing about the brisket.
Yeah, we're gonna bring that up again. But we was letting them know that we have to go, and this is they're just putting the brisket on and everything. They're getting the fire going, and the what's it called, the broiler,
The smoker.
the smoker, and but we're like, and people are, some of our families starting to show up, and we're giving them hugs and said, well, we got to go, and they're going, what?
You know how it is when nobody's guarding the brisket; it just goes.
Yeah, there ain't nobody gonna. And if you're guarding the last piece of the brisket, you better have some weapons, I guess you would say. And plus, there was a lot of people there, so I could see.
Yeah, we're just playing.
Yeah, we're just playing.
I'm just playing.
A little bit. So we're wishing we get to hug our family, and I mean, they're just coming in, and some of them are still coming in that we didn't get to meet or see because we're on the road, but we're also tired. You know, we're trying to juggle two things and making our way, but it was good. We got to spend time with our family in the morning, or in the afternoon the first night, and in the morning the second night, but was also there for breakfast Sunday morning before we had to go to church, or left for church. We didn't have to, we wanted to. And so we're telling our family we got to go. We're going to go help another family, and we'll be back for breakfast tomorrow. And some of the family who came in that night weren't there for breakfast, but we still got to see some of the family there, and got to give them hugs and tell them we love them, and that we'll see them again next year. So maybe next year they can juggle out to where they're, because we do want to go see the family that we're talking about tonight again. Great family. One of the men that I talked with, he's also a ceremony person. Well, both brothers are, and they're the ones who are keeping that tradition alive. And so, you know, I sit down for just a second. We started talking about ceremonies, and when
He lit up.
Yeah, he lit up, and I was happy to talk with someone who wanted to know about the ceremonies, and he's sharing things about his ceremonies. I'm sharing things about ours, and then Big Tracker E comes up behind us and saying, "Are y'all coming or not?"
I didn't do it like that.
Yeah, no, she didn't.
No, I said there's people everywhere I moved the truck. Somebody's saying, "You're in the way. I need you to move," because they're coming and going. I didn't know where to park. Real narrow road. He was just going to go grab the guy and come right back. But then they sat down and started talking ceremonies, and I had to keep moving the truck. So, like, I didn't know. But all I did was go, Jerry.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what to do.
Okay. And so, and the elder, or he would be the elder, or one of the elders of the family. He goes, well, yeah, let's go, and let's do a track. And he wanted to see what we was talking about. Now, his brother that we was able to take out the day before, we was telling him what we're going to find, where we're going to find it before we got there. But we were showing him blinds and some bows. One bow was across the whole road. You couldn't miss that one. I mean, that was just, and trees don't do that. And then we got to the pasture area, and we're looking around. I said, well, here's a blind, there's a blind. And I said, but all the way around here, we're going to find blinds in strategic areas and more bows in the background if we go further in. And if there's a waterway, we're going to find some bridges. And on both sides of those bridges, and it's all in the book. It's all in the books that we share. All this information is. We took a long. It's probably about 2.5 hours that we walked with the younger brother that first morning. But in the second, when we came back in the afternoon, the second night, we got to spend time with the other brother, and I think he may be the older brother. I'm not really sure. But we got to, he took us up to the top of the mountain. We got to scout around there. And then on the way back, we said, well, we have to go 50 yards in. And of course, that's in the book. That's in the book. We go 50 yards in because they don't want to cause a disturbance or make anyone nervous where you can really see. But there will be sign, of course. But 50 yards in, go 50 yards in is where you're going to start finding the bows, the breaks, the bends, pull downs, and things. It was a beautiful day, and we got to share that time with them. And then we came back once we was completely done with everything. Jose and Tanya had to go to another place. It's a place that they was wanting to scout out or check out, and so they departed, and we stayed with the family till about 9 something at night by the fire, and we got to sit down and talk with the entire family that was not in the house preparing food and taking care of making sure there's coffee for everybody and doing the dishes and all that. But it was a great family reunion there.
Mm-hmm. Very well organized.
Well organized.
Nice people.
Great
Intelligent people.
Great people. Intelligent. And so what we'd like to do now is show you that video. And then once the video is over, we will come back and we will...
But at the beginning, turn your volume down a little bit because that music comes up real loud. If you got headphones, move them back a little.
So we're going to give you about 5 seconds. Reach up there and turn your volume down just a hair. And you're going to have to adjust it, especially for the second part, because I was wearing a GoPro, but I left the underwater back on it, the waterproof area.
Case, yeah.
And I forgot to change it to an open back. So I had to turn up the volume just a little bit so you could hear even what we were saying. But just be ready to adjust your volume on this. And it's going to start off loud, just fair warning. So get that volume ready to be turned down, because even while we were doing a practice test today, we were like, whoa, and people were going, whoa, that's loud. And so just fair warning, turn your volumes down just a little bit or just to what you need. So let's start. Let me go ahead and put it up on here. Okay, that was the fair warning.
There's a sample.
That is a sample. That was the fair warning. I'll back it up for you. And let me see if we can put this up a little higher here. No. Let me take that banner off. And that'll probably help us out a little bit more. All right, so everyone, enjoy this. We'll be right back after the video, but we're showing you where in the first part we took the younger brother, in the second part we took the older brother. I think it's the older brother.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't get their age.
Yes.
Okay, so
and each one, when we went with the mother and the sister, the first time was one section of the property, and each brother took us to a totally different section of the property. But we knew what to expect in each kind of area that we were going to. And we told them basically what we were going to find before we got there.
Yeah. So everyone, enjoy this, and we'll be right back afterwards. Remember, adjust your volumes, get ready, because it's going to be loud. Just the opening stream part. And then while we're tracking, of course, it's going to be a little bit lower. So today you're going to have to adjust your volume and get ready for it.
Or rock out.
Or rock out. It don't matter. So here we go. Enjoy this, and we'll be right back, but we will be here. Here's a blind right here. This tree right here. Saw the blind. Oh wow. Blind down there with that tree.
Yeah, it's too.
I got hot.
That last little stretch.
And these are all blinds.
Even up there is a blind, so they can sit up
Look
tall.
at that tree, yeah. Right there.
All of this is a blind. This whole thing. Where you started down here is all blind. Close to the road, so you can always hear the log trucks.
More pull downs here. It's kind of hard to see with a camera how good this, blocking is here. But even us, we have to go around it. And this is where the games go. There's a big bow.
And right there is where they have the fence pushed down. So that's the path, right? Because we just crossed over a barbed wire fence.
Yeah. Look at this
Pushed
bow.
down because they've got a path right
Then you
here.
got the stick there. And see how the stick is holding the bow down?
Yeah.
At the tip. You're going to find that with every one of them. This is a good bow.
As far as they go, we hate to give them
Yeah,
credit, but some
yeah.
of them impress us.
We hate to give them credit. But
We've taken some of them home and
cleaned them up.
cleaned them and debarked them and polished them for teaching tools.
You're gonna, yeah, just to hold it down.
And these just placed up in there.
Yeah, more of a blind. Let's see this.
They would actually have a center pole and then put the things around that.
There's some big logs over there.
Seen them pull it down and put like a locking pin to hold things in. East Texas, I think that was the most elaborate.
More bows.
You're gonna check out that pile.
You want to check out that big pile? Yeah. These logs that are
Cracks in here.
more bows. And you're going to find with these bows, they're going to have a,
This one, all here tucked in.
yeah, that's a spear tip to,
Look around.
something's hit that already because it broke off.
If you come back later, see, they got here on this side, they're trying to box in the prey. Here.
And with these bows, you're always gonna find this is what we call a shoot. Let me, can you hold that?
Good example.
It's recording. I'm gonna record
Okay.
this. But this is what we call a shoot. You know, to keep us going this way. Here's the bow. But you're always gonna find a foot of a log laying down. So you want the prey to jump across. And either on this side or that side, you're gonna find a bobcat. Usually it's in the ground though. And this may have been laying up like that. But you can see a whole bunch of disturbing tubers.
That's a fresh break right there.
That's a fresh one right here.
And they'll just keep enlarging it and enlarging it. They almost lay it out like a spider web.
And even with those big ones right there, more bows.
We call that a horizontal. See that up high?
Call that a horizontal. Well, a lot of times they hang their meat some days on people if they get a chance. And this bow came out.
That's a fresh one also.
That's because it's supposed to be like this. I bet it was like that. But it came out.
See, that's just stuck up there.
That's horizontal. This tree shouldn't be bent over right here. It shouldn't be bent that way. And just taking the wedge up there.
Look at the giant bow behind that.
And then all of this.
And there are all the colors of all this. It's right in the center of that where they can snooze. Wait.
Now, seven here, section here.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Wow, but we find them every now and then.
We found one that was how many feet? 30 foot bamboo.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was up at Buffalo Mountain, which is right there here. Okay, that's a good find right there.
Well,
This is what we call those tree breaks, and that usually tells us how tall the one is in this area. So break off the tip of one of these trees, just to show how tall they are. And that actually is the size of this one. And that's a big bow right there. And that's a tree break right there.
This whole thing will turn into one giant blind over time.
This
Pull
is how
down
a
back
tree is
there.
supposed to grow, straight up. And those are all bent and broke, bowed over.
One of the biggest structures we found was bows all leaning towards each other like a circus tent right outside of a daycare. This is a twist down.
The base of the tree, they use that as a blind too. Yeah, we didn't come this far with your mother.
I ain't been out here.
Stick one eye around the corner.
Yes. My battery's about to go out, but these are all.
Almost every video we do, we're like, oh man, the battery's about to go out.
Yeah.
We do charge them up.
And a lot of times we're like, we're not gonna take any photos. We're just. Then we're like, oh, look at that, look at that.
I do want to come back and get that big one tomorrow. That real big one on the other side.
Which one?
There was a blind down here on that side. Pretty good size.
Okay. Another one right there, another blind. And they pull down.
And when you leave on your road going out, the driving road, you'll notice now you'll see all kinds of bows through there.
I've always noticed those.
Oh, good.
I never heard of anything like that, but it was a Bigfoot.
There's more than there were when we were here a few months ago.
Yeah. All blinds. All blinds. And we just call these pull downs because they just pull them down and use them as a blind or a block to not be seen. But there's a lot here. And we always say it's 50 yards in is where you'll find most of the blinds. Because they're trying not to make a big presence. You know, it's like, there's some deer come through here. And this can be used as a blind here, that area. And this was used as one because of these are bent over, leaning. Oh, this tree also. Just show you this one tree right here. See how it's bent right there? They use those as blinds, so I would say down below there is where they sit, because the tip of that tree would be hanging down like that. So they would be down there watching the river. hole.
Right down there where the head
Good.
is. Up and down this creek. This way.
Wow, that's a good place to watch. And this is also what we call an X marker. See how it's kind of X'd in? Yeah, it's more of a, and this one right here also, bent down. Yes, it's for other Bigfoots to not come through there, but it's also to let people who know that this is a hunting area for them. For a certain group. Looks like you've been here before, Mark. Yeah, looks like them. When this pine had limbs on it, they should all be growing up like this, but this one's pulled down also. And this one right here, here's a print. There's also deer through here. Yeah, deer coming through. That tree in front of us, pulled down. Oh, put over there right here. Family staying right here in this room.
Oh, not bad.
Yeah, you can come in. This would be a good spot for them too. And we seen them scale walls like that, like nothing. Did you bring binoculars?
No, I didn't because I thought it was going
Okay. Yeah.
He said, sure, I'll take you up there.
Yeah, give me 5 minutes. Yeah, all those dark images around that line, we look at those because they like to watch the fields and wait for deer to come by. And they can outrun a deer. I mean, they can run up to at least 55 miles per hour. I think deer go at least 40, 45, something at top speed. And
So from here you would see the embankment lines across on the other side. And from over there you could see them easier from here.
yeah,
You could see the ones on this side.
if they know you come up here, they're not going to build one here. It's going to be across the way or a little bit downstream. But if they know that you can't get down there, they'll be down at the base.
What do they call them?
It's stinks.
Yeah, they have like 5 major smells. Sometimes they smell like a, let's see, about a fresh pine forest.
Where it
And-
shouldn't be.
And sometimes there's no smell. Then there's that stink and skunky smell.
Wet dog, urine, feces, everything gross rolled into one. Dead
Tarantula,
dead
snake smell.
bump,
Kind of like a city dump. You know, if you get out there in the heat.
sewer.
And then they have a sweet smell, 2 sweet smells. One's like perfume, like frankincense and myrrh. So kind of a sweet smell. And some of them even smell like candy or something sweet. Like some people said Skittles, kind of that kind of smell.
And that's something they produce, or do they do something that's on the outside of the body?
They'll get the smells from like the pine. You know, they'll come into that area. I mean, they'll stay in a far area and then come in nighttime, and that's where they're bringing that smell with them. But most of them will stay in the cedars because it's a natural bug deterrent, and they use it for bedding. And so they don't like the smell of burning cedar because it smells like their home burning, or but they just don't like that smell. And even in ceremonies, we'll burn the cedar for the bad energies or bad spirits to not be in there. And even like before the ceremonies, we'll blow the eagle whistle. It's a little eagle. It's the elbow of the eagle, and that's the hardest. When it comes out, it hits like rabbits. It's hitting like that. And we'll blow that 4 times in all directions, and that's to scare. I mean, we're not doing it for the Bigfoots, but it's the spirits, the bad spirits that but they'll have them at the teepee ceremonies and pretty much every ceremony. Yeah, these ravens and crows, they're always scouting for food. And when they locate food, they'll call on you or they'll perch across the way and start calling. But they spotted, you know, people or something bigger that they can't take down, like a deer or something. But they'll let the Bigfoots know there's food over here. And the owls will do the same thing, but they'll also mimic the birds. So you'll hear like, kind of like that one, but that one's a real bird. But it's more like a, yeah, I'm trying not to get too loud because I don't want one of them to whistle back. Rip it off and eat the skunk. And whenever they'll use the meat to attract other animals, but they'll take the insides.
Soft tissue.
And it's a gross way that they do it, but the rear end, they'll push and flatten it, and it all comes out, and they'll leave the carcass there for, you know, a coyote or a raccoon, and then they get another one, and then they get another one. So it's kind of like just baiting more prey in. Mucho plumas. Son. Ella, 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 we got where something was eaten here. Okay. And a lot of bird feathers, lots of bones. We got some. Yeah, even here. Maybe we can go like at an angle about 50 and go in that way. Yeah, we'll cut just a little bit deeper in and then go straight up. But there's some more bows. And this tree is, and this one's holding this one down. That was bowed. That one's bowed. And that one's being held down by that other tree. Yeah, and that's why you won't, like they walk like a man, but then they'll drop the force, so their trail. Yeah, let's go to that one up there on the left, that big one. And here's another bow tree. Yeah, it sure is. But they'll sit back there. There must be a game trail or something through here. Oh, wow. Kid never see that. Never see this. As you can see the bow here. Even there's a little game trail too right here. I was like, there's something been here. And I looked up and seen this.
That's exactly what yeah.
Straight up here. Straight up here you got this bowed tree and it's like a tree break. Oh, yeah, sidestepping, yeah. They do that. No. They'll be game this way. They're watching, and now they're going behind this tree, but they're going, if they see it, they'll go. And once it turns around and starts, the other way, they'll sidestep to that next tree. Yeah. Like these trees right here, all these, all bows. This we would consider an X, just how it's pushed together. And this is what we're talking about whenever you find the bow, you're gonna find a log. And yeah, there, but they want it to jump over. And when you jump over, there's gonna be, this should probably be up, but there's spikes, sharp things. But they want it to jump over and impel itself. But this is a real good example of what we call the bows. And we'll tell people there's always going to be a log there, and the ends are going to be held down by debris or some kind of piece of wood. And I would say we go across because there's a big blind. There's a big blind on that side. And all these are bowed over. And right there is a great blind. This one is for that guy. Because there's no way you're going to see from here. He's not going to see that something black. And you're going to find all this. And there's a big one. We'll go down a little further. There's another big one that we've seen. And once you see it, I mean, it just, you can't miss that one. But down through here, we'll find more, and they're going to be around these game trails, like this. Oh yeah, that one too, you're right. And like they'll go to all fours, but this is the game trail, this is the hiding spot. They're letting the deer come through and then they'll shoot out this way. Even this right here, so I'll pull down. And this one's pulled over. Yeah, we got one on video. It took us 2.5 hours before it moved. And we sat there for 2.5 hours. Right here. And look at that. Yeah, that's right here. And you can see that there's disturbance in the bottom right there, behind that. That's the game trail that you're on, so they're going to be behind there, and once it comes through, they're going to shoot off out that way. Yeah, this is a good blind. Yep, those are, yep. That's a good one. Or that we're looking at them. And also, like today, whenever we're pointing at some dark shadows, Mark was saying, you know, do they know that we're looking? And that they do know, so what we'll do is, you know, then we will like point it over here, and then we point it over here, but that was just to not let them know that we're pinpointing on them. But we did find a lot of trees that they use as blinds. They'll break trees short from the ground, probably about this high. They'll break it and lay it over. But you're gonna find a bowed tree in there, and you'll hopefully if you got time, Mark can show you a couple because he knows exactly where they're at, and AC knows exactly where they're at. And even just walking down to the pasture here, you're gonna walk under a big bow. It's all the way across the road. You can't miss it. And then if you do get to go down to the pasture, you're going to see what we're talking about as far as the pull downs and the blinds. And we got behind the couple just to show that how easy it is to hide in those things. But they're all around the pasture area. That big horizontal is at the very end of the small inlet area of the pasture. It's down there. And they are attracted to human voices and the sounds of children. So they will be, they they're, they will take your pets if you leave them outside. Any kind of food that you leave outside, they're coming in to eat. Like we used to throw scraps out into the forest, and that's just feeding them. They'll come in, they'll take your dog food,
Your trash.
trash. They'll take your trash and go through it. Some of them will take it into the forest, so you'll find trash in the forest. But they're just looking for any kind of food that they can get. If you have a good supply of animals, deer, hog, and things like that, they're not a real danger to people. But when they run out of food, that's whenever they start coming in looking for pets and people. Love is the biggest protection that we all have, because when you love somebody, your child is not outside by itself. Your pet is not outside by itself. You're not yelling at your child. And whenever they hear the yelling, they know that, this child may not be missed. Or if you're upset with the dog, they're like, well, maybe that dog won't be missed. Or if you have more cats or dogs, if you have like 4, you may pet your favorite dog. They're going to see the one that's not petted, and they're going to wait for that one, and they're going to take that one. So those will be the ones that disappear. But they're going to continue, if that food supply, to come in and take them one at a time. But they'll always try to leave you one, kind of like Noah's Ark. They always try to leave you one. Same thing with the rabbits and the squirrels. They don't want to cause you to be nervous, so they'll leave a rabbit, they'll leave a pair of squirrels, just so you think that everything's still normal. But also, when deer are close to your home or deer are in town, that's abnormal, because deer have all this place, all the food, but when they come up to your lots, they're looking for protection. They would rather be around a human than out there with these things that can run them down and who are setting traps for them. But these things, they are real. My family is actually having a family reunion right now. And I left them today and told them what we was coming here. But for the last 2 days, I've been taking our youth out, our young ones, and showing them what to look for, the breaks, the trees. And they've already been taking pictures and finding all the blinds and the pull downs. It's not hard to identify these. I mean, the trees grow up, but if they're bending down, and that's abnormal. Joyce asked us to come out and look around, just to show a couple of people here to identify what we did whenever we was here with Joyce a few months ago. She asked us to come back when your family was here, and we told her we would, and we met AC the other day or yesterday, and we went out and got to meet or talk with AC and showed him what we was talking about. But we let AC know that this is what we're going to find before we even got there. So when we walked around, we're like, there it is, there it is, there it is, there it is. So it's not like we were lucky to find them. We knew exactly where they were going to be, because we've been doing this for so long that
It's the same pattern
it's
over
the
and
same
over.
pattern. Every state. We've got trackers in Australia and Canada that we've taught. We have an online tracking course, and they're reporting and they're showing the same breaks, the pull downs. And like we're saying, love is the biggest deterrence, because they know that if the wife goes outside, the husband will go outside too. And it's never a bother, and it's only usually they got to run out to the car to get something. But the Bigfoots see if they go out alone, but if the husband goes out or the boyfriend goes out with the wife or the girlfriend, they know that's a hard target to get. They would rather go to your neighbors and find the ones who are just letting the family member go out by themselves. So just being out there with your child, or even your cousins or nephews or nieces, that's still showing love, and the Bigfoots can't get in or move in because there's another person who's watching the tree line, or watching for disturbances or things like that, and they know that's a hard target, so they choose to go find an easy target.
Just like human predators want isolated people.
Yeah.
Do you
But-
think they're multi-dimensional?
Well, they can. What we call multidimensional for us is the
Right.
translucency.
Yeah.
Now they can have like a whole group like here of Bigfoots, and not everybody's Bigfoots, but but they will be stacked up, and you're always going to find multiple. They're never alone. But there will be a line of them, and they'll walk behind that translucent wall because these are all in translucent states. They're just deflecting that light. So to us, it looks like they've disappeared or walked into a portal, but all they did was walk behind that line of them. And people will, if they lose a track, like all of our trackers, if they lose a track, we have to look at the trees, because they will climb and go tree to tree just to try to lose us. And some of them have wings, so some of them will just fly, and they can jump up to 50 feet, and they can jump over ravines. So if you lose a track here, you don't see the other one, go out at least 50 feet. Keep looking for it. You'll find that other one. But they'll also go to all fours like an animal, like a panther, and then it's weight distribution. So now there's no more heavy tracks. Now it's like if we go to all fours, we can lessen our weight on each foot and each hand.
But
just
they
like a
can do
cat would.
fingertips and toes.
Yeah. But we can answer some questions too if y'all have about that. And also that book has got all of this information in that.
And yeah, and
When I
there's
seen
a
it go for $20, I was like, whoa, this guy just
made a deal.
Do y'all do like any work like that person up at Idaho State who has a program up there?
What do they do?
He has a Bigfoot section.
Is it like a company or?
No, it's through the college, Idaho State.
Oh,
We don't know
those
about
guys
it.
don't know anything. That book, if you was to read that book, you would know more than all of those guys.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Oh, no, I mean,
No, we're just saying that because of
the misinformation.
yeah, everything on TV, everything that we've heard so far, and on other channels and on other in groups and
Well, what part
at
of
the
Georgia
seminars.
do you know, or all parts of Georgia?
All parts.
Because most of them, like the mountainous part and the forest part is mainly up in the northern part. That's what I was.
But it'll be the
Yeah.
same patterns.
We've got a tracker in North Georgia.
They'll also go underground, and I don't think we talked about embankment blinds.
But in North Georgia right now, there's a lot of missing people. What we call water spirits, and that's also in the book. But they look just like the water in that watery haze looks, and they will pull people down and hold them underneath water. They will knock boats over, small boats. They will knock those over and knock people into the water and hold them down. But they only need an inch of water to drown somebody because they're so strong, nobody's going to get up from that. But if you read the reports, it's like there was 2 or 3 swimming and just one just went under. And they'll hold them under, but to find them, they take them to the very center of the lake or the very center of the pond, and they put wood or rocks on them to hold them down. So if anybody ever comes up missing in the water situation, that's where you'd look for them. But also when they drown somebody, they'll drink the blood, so you'll find puncture wounds underneath the right arm or the right leg where that vein comes up. You'll find that and we've had one of the trackers luckily there was a drown. I mean, it was bad that the drowning happened, but it's lucky that our tracker was there to who knew the family and had the family ask for blood loss, and it came back that the body didn't have any blood in it. The body was there, but the blood was gone. So they will drink the blood and leave that body there. But if nobody comes to look for it, that's also food for them, and they'll take that body too.
They want that. They want the human DNA.
Yeah.
They're the only human in them is stolen human. God didn't create them. They're
Yeah.
from fallen angel bloodline
Yeah, just like in the Bible, they talk about the fallen angels.
that made all these different cryptids and chimera, and people think that they all look like Harry and the Hendersons, but the Mothman, the Lizard Man, that they're getting the attributes and piecing them together like Frankenstein's monster. They can bind like that, but not perfectly. Like God's creation
Yeah.
is perfect. God's creation is proportional and beautiful and artistic, but these things are not. They're hideous. They're patched together, and then they have a binding DNA that comes from that creature that lets a species mix. This is why in the Bible it says, as in the days of Noah, and also after that, there was giants in those days and all these other creatures that he had to flood. And he was so specific about each pair of animals after their own kind, which means not infected with these other wrong bloodlines that shouldn't be there. It's the same. It's still going on. It's still happening. And then you add in the mad scientists and the military that wants to weaponize these things. So there's other things happening too. All the DNA mixing from the beginning until now with what humans have added. It's all going on, and these are the things that people are seeing.
There's a woman named Melba Ketchum, and you can Google her name, and she's done the DNA study on these, and she's been ridiculed, and the scientific community has she's basically no good anymore. They don't give her any jobs anymore. But she's done the DNA study on these from multiple DNA samples, and she'll tell you that there's bird DNA, there's fish DNA, there's bits and pieces of human, but it doesn't have a human sequence. So this is a creature, and she'll even call it a creature. She'll say it's put together, but it's not human, it's not us. So these things have multiple DNA in one body.
But she's not understanding. She's thinking it's just diverged from the
Like an
from the
evolvement or
human.
something.
Yeah, like it's evolved. Well, there is an evolution of these unnatural things, but then there's also God's creation, and so
Well, a couple
both
of them
things
have
are
found
happening.
that the areas that they have been, they've got DNA, and it comes back to some are primate related. So
And some have this and some have that, and some
Yeah, right, that's
and
what
it's
I'm
all
saying.
broken.
Yeah, they have multiple-
So those
multiple-
actually
And that
have
could
primate,
have been, we have
you
to
know.
look at what's in the food supply. Is there a zoo in that area? Where did this primate DNA come from?
yeah, well, I'm saying that some of it have been like in I'm gonna say the higher mountains, like in the country. I'm trying to think of the other country.
Like a
It's
Yeti?
been like the Himalayas, where that like they like the Yeti there, where they've taken samples out of the water, which no other animals are around there, but they do get that sample.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
And
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
also all these things go back to the same labs at the top, and so they're going to get the answers that are allowed. They're going to be. It's only like they'll get these results, and then they'll send them, like in Melba's case, and the report that comes back, that's going to be what the people at that top lab are told to say.
Yeah, because even the universities, they're monitored.
Yeah, they don't
only-
know. They think they're getting the correct answer.
And they only allow what they're allowed to put out.
Even the woman that had to shoot the one in Alabama her brother had a game ranger friend he'd grown up with, and he didn't listen to her about not calling the game ranger, and he did because he could trust him. The men in black, the unspecified military, and they came, they collected everything that they could that was there, and they threatened them to say that it was a bear attack. The brother buckled, and he buckled under the pressure of them. She didn't. She said, I answer to a higher power. I know that's not a bear. You know that's not a bear. And they're attacking our neighbors. They tried to attack my niece,
Well, do you
you know,
think
my
that
great
has
niece.
anything with DNA research? Like you're saying, the government came and
Absolutely.
took
Absolutely,
that.
they haven't.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
you're being
There-
lied to on these shows that tell you there's no evidence, no bodies. They collect them. They have some that they've even put collars on, tracking collars, and they call them assets. And they get, those are the more dog-like, wolf-like looking ones.
Okay, we got to, now that was at the fire. That was just a little segment of the talk that we had with the entire family, and there was
Much more.
much more information that only some of our trackers know the information. We couldn't put this out here because most people aren't trackers or part of the tracking team or a candidate yet. And there's some of our viewers we trust, but still we can't put this out on this. So a lot of it was cut out, but we did get to spend time with the family, and there was a lot more questions, but time permitting, and we do have that entire, well, no, we only recorded a little bit, but
Yeah.
the information that was put out there, we wanted the family to know, and no one else was recording this information, so it was safe for us to tell the family so that they knew there's more information out there that we personally know, our trackers know, but we can't put that information out right now as far as what we talked about.
My favorite comment of them was when the older brother told everyone, told the entire family, and I would say there's probably 40 people there, that he's been a hunter his whole life, and we hear this all the time. And he said he's seen some things, but he just never realized what it was until we took him out there and showed him their elaborate hunting system. And once we showed him, he said it made absolute perfect sense. As a hunter, it was like his eyes were open and he could see exactly what we were talking about. And so they'll continue to train their children and grandchildren what's out there, what to be careful of, the areas to stay away from, and there will always be someone watching when they have their family reunions there, and in certain areas they'll be warned about the blinds. They'll know when a new blind's being constructed, that sort of thing. But I really appreciated him saying that because we'll hear people saying, I've been in these woods all my life and I ain't never seen nothing. And we're like, well, have you seen this and this and this and this and this? Yeah,
They've seen
yeah,
the signs.
yeah.
They just don't know what
put it together. They're not recognizing the patterns.
It may have been a little hard to hear, but one of the question was that someone was tracking, and that they got to this point, and they could see where the predator Bigfoot was sidestepping, and he asked about that, and so we let him know that whenever it was going from like a tree here and a tree here, there's an open spot right through here. Now, if there's a deer over there or a herd of deer, the Bigfoot is trying to go tree to tree to tree to get closer before it attacks the deer. So even if you're a hunter, this works the same way. All you have to do is do that sidestepping and keep everything in front of you And if the deer turn around, freeze and just stand there and just wait. And that deer, if that deer is looking for movement, and this is also the way we hunt. If that deer spots us, because deer come through all the time. If you're a new black shadow, they're going to stop and look. And they're going to freeze and they'll move their head up and down just to make sure, you know, you don't break your silhouette. But if you're a hunter, you raise your rifle as slow as you can in front of you. You don't break your silhouette. You come up real slow and you still get a shot. Same way with the Bigfoot sidestepping. They're going to freeze when that deer turns around and just stand there. The deer is going to wait, move his head, try to get it to move. And if it doesn't move, the deer is going to turn back around and finish eating or continue eating. And that Bigfoot will move over. If something else turns around, it's going to freeze. So you're going to see that sidestepping from time to time. And then if you're in that area and you're seeing where that sidestepping is, look what's in front of you. And you're going to see an open area or a pasture area. It's not going to have trees in the area, because if it was, there's no need for them to sidestep. They would just come through. But you're going to see it's an open area. And all they're doing is sidestepping. And if the deer don't turn around, you know, they'll sidestep to the next tree, try to maneuver down. So that was one of the questions he had also about why, because it was low where we was going through, and he was asking if they're so big, you know, why is this a low point right here with that trail was following? And we let him know that they'll go like a man, they'll go 2 foot for a while, then they'll drop to 4 foot or on all fours. Also, that's where your weight distribution comes from, but they can get underneath that brush, just like the deer or whatever else, and they'll come back up on 2s.
And a lot more fluidly than a human can.
And we got to, if you've seen, there were some people talking or kind of starting to talk right where we were showing that meat hook, where they hang their meat. And it was very good size, and I hope you all got to see that. We did see a little chatting starting, but I'm glad the moderators took care of that.
Yeah.
But at that very point, it shows that branch that's over, and it was a good branch. From the height, it looks smaller, but when you're there, it was a good branch. It was just placed up in there, and we've came across those quite a few times in different places. If you've seen one of our knot tracks with Jose and Tanya, you've seen the other meat hook wedged up in there in those trees. It's the same thing.
Another thing that they'll do when they're doing the side to side, it's not just them getting rubbed up. They're doing it also to see.
Yeah, and they're also trying to get you to move, because when it starts going like that, it's just like that deer. The deer will move, it'll go up, it'll move. It's trying to get you to move or break your silhouette. But if a Bigfoot does that, it's also trying to get you to move. 9 times out of 10, that person is going to get in that hypnotized state and kind of move too, kind of like that. And once that Bigfoot sees that movement, it's going to go down, and it's going to maneuver around. It's going to try to find, if you're a threat, it's going to move out. If you're lost, or if you're out there by yourself in an area that they know people aren't supposed to be, they're going to start maneuvering around to you, your food.
And if it's really letting you see it, it's a decoy. It's a lure. It's just to catch your attention while the rest circle around. They're never alone. There's always some others nearby.
I'd like to say hello to Scott. Scott is in the house. Scott's live.
Hey, Scott. And Night Stars is in here.
Night Stars is in the room. Good to see y'all. I think there was one new person in the room, and that was Kelly's here.
Kelly, yeah.
Kelly, good to see
Show
you,
Me
Kelly.
Sasquatch, who came in after we explained the rules here.
I want to thank you, moderators, for timing that person out.
Yeah, just not to have distracting conversations during the lessons, the videos.
Yeah.
So if there's any questions, now would be the time.
Yeah.
To ask the questions.
And even if there's not any questions, you know, we're going from one family reunion, our family reunion, to their family reunion, and then we're going getting some rest, and we're going back to our family reunion, then to their family reunion. And at our family reunion, the adults pretty much gave us the kids,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
said teach them. And we sat down with the young ones, and like the new book that Lee Trackery is putting out. We'll get a few samples here
That we are putting out.
that we are putting out. With all your artwork. that
No,
you-
this is together. Just
But-
we explained it in
Yeah. So
different.
we're
things.
handing, you know, these, we're showing them, and we're putting this out in front of the children, and we're saying that the Bigfoot will. You may not see them behind that tree, but you know their arms going to be behind that branch, and it's going to be behind this branch. However that branch is going, and that their feet will be as close as they can. They'll be this way. It won't be straight. It'll be this way around the tree because they're trying to get as close to the tree as possible. But they'll have their arms even with the branches, so that you don't see them. And you're going to see a little outline. And we got some photos of many like that.
Show them things like to look out. You see the house in the distance. If you look out your window one day and you recognize it, you've got a fat tree. You need to take a better look at it.
Yeah, they'll be
It's suddenly wider. It may be one of these things stalking your house.
at the bases. One of the a friend came with one of my nieces, cousins, and my cousin said, "Go ahead and tell them." And so she told us that she's seen something one time, and that but it didn't have hair, and it was kind of down, but it looked kind of humanish. And we said, "Yeah, that's what we would call a rake, or some of these predator Bigfoots are hairless, so they do look humanish in a way. But if you was ever to get real close or had good binoculars, you would definitely see that they're not human."
Just know that they're all predators.
And once we did not mock or even have a weird look or giggle, we said, "Okay, well, this is probably what it was, or this is probably what it was." That child had more confidence.
She looks relieved.
Looked relieved
Mhm.
that people knew what she was talking about. We didn't, she may have told other people before.
And you'll hear those children in, is it tomorrow night?
Yeah, tomorrow night.
Tomorrow night, we'll have video from that reunion, and you'll hear the children, their intelligent questions, and they're ready to handle this information, and they have the right to know this information. Parents have got to stop lying to their children that there's no monsters out there, because it's simply not true. Beforehand, we were just showing them things like
We were
bows
showing them
and-
about the bows, yeah.
and it made it so easy when we showed them the illustrations to go out there, pull downs, to go out there, and they were like, there's one. They knew exactly after seeing these what we were talking about.
Now, we do know that there's other channels out there that if they say that some could be good, some could be bad, don't listen to those people. First of all, they're guessing. And we don't guess when it comes to our children, to our cousins, our nieces, our nephews. We teach our own family that these are predators, that they will take you if they get a chance. We teach them what to look for, what their sounds are, what these signs are, how to tell if they're in your area. We don't play with this,
No.
especially with our family.
The stakes are too high. These
And-
predators built, because I used to think some were good, some were bad, because that's what I have been taught by what I say are these stupid shows on TV, and by some of the groups that believe that they're all just a divergent human or divergent man.
And if
They're not.
Yeah.
And before it was done, I had already started seeing the patterns that I could just recognize hunting when I when I saw it, I'd read everything when I was a kid I could get on bushcraft and things like that, and just being in the woods all my life. But I started to see something was not quite right. And then one day I went out to my grandson's rope swing around this little creek. And overnight, because I was constantly out there, overnight they had built structures, their ambush blinds, all the way around my grandson's rope swing. That's the only thing that was there, was my wooden swing and his rope swing going across that little creek. So he was the next prey that they were setting up, was my 4-year-old grandson. I was trying to remember if he was 3 or 4, right in there. And he was out there in the woods with me a lot. But they were getting ready for him. They were setting him up. So that was a game changer for me.
Remember, these are key words for a person who has no business giving their opinion. If you hear anyone say these key words, listen to them, as far as they're telling you they don't know. If they say, I think, maybe, it could be, I heard, it should be, somebody told me, or this is just my opinion, or, well, I really don't know. Possibly. Listen to those key words, because they don't know. And we are sharing with you everything that you need to know. This is not a game. This is serious. There's people that's been taken already.
You have nothing to lose by listening to us and taking these precautions, but you have a lot to lose by listening to the people that are saying these are friends of the forest, and they're clearly not. Like we said, the stakes are just too high.
And we also have a 3-part series of what the Indians say. If you ever want to know what the Indians say from Canada to Alaska to here, look at that 3-part series. That 3-part series at the very end, and there's Navajo, there's Alaskan tribes, Canadian tribes, Oklahoma tribes, and in between. Every one of them at the end, because we say, okay, this is how we're going to do it at the end. You tell us what it is in your area, and we say predator. They said predator. They said predator. They said predator. They said predator. And there's still people being taken.
Entire villages still go missing to this day in recent times. Right now.
Right now, it's still happening. Right now, it's also a very, very dangerous time before the first frost and the first snow.
And also coming up on.
It's also in the book. Harvest time is the same to them. It's harvest time. Before the first frost, they know that weather's coming. They know snow is coming. We know that. When you start getting cold weather, you know we may have some ice, we may have some snow coming in.
Mm-hmm.
They know the same. All the animals know that. The squirrels, they prepare. The ants, they prepare for the duration. So the Bigfoots do too. They will take people. They will take entire villages. And we've already talked about that, especially on the What the Indians Say trilogy kind of thing, that 3-part series. You'll hear that.
So when it came down to their choice of being predator or not predator, 100% chose predator.
All the Indians chose.
And the reason we did that
predator.
series is because we notice a lot of the books and the programs, they'll talk about what the Indians say, but it's generally a non-Indian repeating what they heard the Indians say, or what they think they heard the Indians say, or second, third, fourth, fifth hand stories, and we said, no, let's sit and have a conversation. What did your grandmother say? What did your mom say? And what did your grandparents, your parents, and what do you say? And the end result across the board was predator.
Mm-hmm. And we do understand about the residential schools and the residential situation. They weren't taught by their family, by their grandparents. We understand a lot of them were taken, so they're getting taught information that the general public gets to make them a more civilized Indian instead of having the information passed down to them. You'll sit down. Your grandma saying, "Don't be playing out there at night. Don't, because something will come out and be playing with you, or be in before dark." And it wasn't to scare us; it was to protect us. Even though they would tell us about seeing these things or pets missing and things like that. So when people say what the Indians say, we always say, what Indian told you that? What tribe told you that? And we're connected with a lot of tribes throughout the world. So if you want to tell us what tribe is saying that these things are not eating people, not taking pets, and not doing things to the livestock and the animals in the area, we want to know about it because we haven't found you yet.
And they back down every single time when you start digging. Okay, well, who told you that?
Who told you that?
Exactly who told you that? You'll never get an answer. They'll delete, they'll move on, they'll say, never mind, forget it.
And we always
I
ask,
can't say.
We always ask, what medicine person, what elder told you that these things are safe?
Mm-hmm.
We want to know because your tribe is in danger. And if someone did tell you, we still want to know because we want to warn your tribe and we want to educate that person to these predators.
The closest that we can find is that they will let you pass through if you go to the woods and apologize and say, forgive me for passing through. Here's a gift, but that's appeasing a demon.
Yeah.
That you don't have to do that with a friend. You don't have to do that with a friendly. You don't have to pay for passage to get through an area.
Just like last night, that was a Choctaw community. Tonight, that you had Choctaw, Creek, Cheyenne,
Cherokee.
I don't know, maybe some Cherokee there, and also, we're all there. We're all together talking about this. Tomorrow, you're going to hear just from our family. We're going to be talking also. But we are teaching our young. We are teaching our children. We're teaching our nephews, our nieces. We're not even sugarcoating with our young. We're letting them know these are predators. This is what we're going to look for. And we took our youth out. And they found everything. We're proud of them for identifying these things. And they was looking through and they were finding Bigfoots in their photos right where we said they would be.
In fact, when we went back the next day, they came and found us right away and they said, could you take us out again? When we went down to the river and we went left the first day, the next day we went down to the river and we went right and up over and found a huge blind, exactly. Well, we'll hear about it tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll show you that tomorrow also. Yeah. And when the youth asked us, our young cousins, they asked us if we could take them out again. I turned and looked at their mother and I said, you have to ask your mother. And she told her, yeah, you can take them out again. So we had that opportunity to teach our family that. And so that's what we're saying.
Learn these and teach your family.
These other channels that are saying some are good or some are bad, they may not have kids. They may not be the ones who are teaching their family. But we are the ones teaching our family.
There's a little town at, I can't remember the name of it right now, but in Louisiana where they just had that festival. And the people in the town, they were running the town that set up the festival, even though just prior to that, a group of high school students had gone out to the forest there. It's Natchez.
Natchitoches, something like that. Close?
I can't think of it right now, but
somewhere.
Wherever that festival was.
It was by the Kinsey Park?
Kisatchie area. And we tracked there too. But anyway, a group of high school students had been out in the woods and they saw one of these predator Bigfoots with the big red eyes, just huge. Scared these high school kids so much that they called the sheriff. They wanted help from the
To
sheriff
come get them.
to come get them. How many high school kids are willingly going to call the sheriff, that are out there in the woods, for whatever reason? It's got to be pretty extreme for them to do that. Even knowing that the people that held that festival were encouraging children after that to take
Go-
gifts out to the
Go into the
to
woods.
the predators. We've heard them
And try
down
to
have.
find.
I don't know if they did it at this one, but we've seen it at other festivals of doing the Bigfoot whooping contest, teaching these children to call them. You'll find whistles and different things like that, and we find it irresponsible and disturbing.
And there was some people who we knew in the past, and they somewhat still kind of want to still be friends in a good way, and I'm sure they're really good people. But if we're not teaching the same thing, then you're teaching the exact opposite. And if you're
You're
teaching
going
the
to get
exact
somebody
opposite,
killed with your wishful thinking.
yeah, you're going to get them hurt, and we just can't be a part of that. We have to keep continuing giving the truth out.
It has nothing to do with love. It's because of
And-
love on a grand scheme.
And subscribers. We boot and we block, and our monitors do this for us. But we'd rather you have the truth than have 50,000 subscribers or anything like that.
Yeah, we don't want muddy waters because it's just too dangerous. Like we said last night, if you had a cannibal and a rapist and a stalker in your neighborhood, would you want somebody telling you the truth? And if somebody told you that, would you just poo-poo them and say, "Oh, don't worry about it"? Or would you say to your child, "Look, don't go by that house. Don't go down that street. Don't go down that alley. Let's, watch out for that"? Well, these are beings that rape, stalk, and eat humans, and pets, and everything else. I mean, think how big they are. They have to consume.
So tomorrow, we'll go through the comments in here in just a second. But tomorrow, you're gonna be with us, with our family, because tonight we're with another family that asked us to come and help teach and show their hunters, their elders, what to look for and what we look for. And we answered every question they had, and we had, like I said, we didn't get to record the entire conversation by the fire, but there was a lot of great questions. There's a lot of questions that everyone out there asked the same questions. But if you have this book, go through it. Your answers are in that book.
And they thanked us several times over, a lot of, on their way out. So many were saying thank you. Applauded when we were done. They were just grateful for that knowledge because nobody had told them these things before. And they want their children safe.
Yeah, and their children will be safer now. And they're a strong family. They're a warrior
Wonderful family.
And we appreciated being with them. But tomorrow we get to show you what we did at our family reunion too. We want to make sure you're there and share that with you also, and the track that we went on. So right now, let's take a couple. Let's see about the comments, and then we'll get ready for our closing prayer, and then we will see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Central Time Zone, because we're going to take you to what our family did. My nieces, my nephews, cousins, uncles.
And almost all of them had stories of their own.
Yeah, and they all know.
Encounters.
Not one of them mocked or scoffed.
Not a single one.
They all knew something. But I think we were all kind of raised different. We ran through the woods, coon hunted, deer hunted, some spotlighted, I'm sure. But that was back in the past.
And have seen the change in the woods, in the forest.
And the trees. Yeah, we know that's not normal.
Much more present now. Much bolder.
So tomorrow we get to show you our family.
In fact, one of them heard the howl when we went back the second day at
Oh, yeah.
7:03. one of the relatives who is a mayor in Kansas
Yeah.
said that at 7:03 he heard a giant
How?
howl.
Bigfoot howl.
He knew a Bigfoot howl when he heard it.
Yeah.
And it was coming from exactly the area where we found the huge Bigfoot bond when we took the children out.
So let's get to the comments.
We'll
And,
start with Judy because we ended with welcoming Scott. And we got to read Judy's comment. She says that book was incredible. Thank you, Judy.
Let me see if I missed anything here.
Mariella joined us. Hola, Mariella.
Oh, that book was incredible. Let me put that up there. That book is going to be out just as soon as we finish up just a few more illustrations. And we laid
I think
those.
she's talking about this one.
That
Yeah.
one. But the other book that we're putting out, it has the illustrations and more rhymes so that children and people get that in their head, what to look for.
Yeah, it's easy to remember something if it's got a little. That's why they do that in advertisement, little rhymes, and it'll help.
And we showed the children, the youth, before we went out and took them out, and they seen everything. They was taking pictures. There's one, there's one, there's one, and you'll see that all tomorrow.
Man, they took their pictures even to new levels. They were color coding arrows and different things like that going on.
Tracks.
Looking
These
at
are
their
tracks. These are
photos.
blinds. These
Yeah,
are.
it was awesome.
They went to
Yeah.
work. I mean, they picked it up quick.
They were excited and grateful for that knowledge and that somebody was talking to them
Not scoffing.
and
And
not
giving them
like
answers.
they couldn't handle that
Yeah,
information.
and giving them the answers, not
Mhm.
saying, maybe.
There's no
it could
such
be."
thing as monsters. Just shh, shh.
We
Don't
said,
worry
this is
about
what
it."
we're going to be seeing. This is what we're looking for. Mariela Bustos is aquí.
Hey, Marianne,
Hola. Jody. Look at Jody.
where she's. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Jody.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Jody.
We sure
I
appreciate you.
sure do.
War Chief says, "Little warrior, you're exactly right." And did I go too far ahead? Oh, where are you at?
I'm at Hi Jody with
Okay, I scrolled
Underneath
up
it,
too far.
underneath it.
Got you.
right there. This is where I'm at.
Okay,
Hi Jody. Right there.
okay.
And Edward.
Edward says, our church went camping last year. That night there was a fight with coyotes and pigs. Then something big took them all out. We've heard those noises. It's not pleasant, and sometimes some of those noises are coming from the Bigfoots themselves, sounding like those other creatures. It sounds like a madhouse at a zoo.
And
Really?
you got to remember that the coyotes are not going to be yipping and making noise at night when Bigfoots are in that area, because that's just like the cricket and the bird. Cricket is not going to make noise if there's a bird chirping. The bird is going to find that cricket and eat it. Same thing with the coyotes. They're not going to be yipping all over the place, or you're going to hear a lot of coyotes getting ripped apart. And if they're not, they're mimicking. They're being... Lyrical Jazzy says, I also was taught not to whistle at night. It could bring in bad spirits such as Bigfoots.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Yeah. And people are trying to teach your children to do that.
And this is where
War Chief said the warrior.
The
Yeah.
warrior, exactly right.
Edward says 3 of the men went and looked at it where the fight was that day. We took the boys home good.
Good. Get them out of there.
I've got a friend right now that's a Cub Scout leader, and they're there in the big thicket of Texas, and the area that they're in is so aggressive. Stubblefield Lake, Kelly's Pond. I know some of you on here know about that area. There's over 40 people missing in that area. That's a big hush-hush thing. And real glad that this Cub Scout leader is knowledgeable
Aware,
and
yeah.
learning and following the channel, reading, learning everything, and that he at least is aware. But he says he's been the only one awake at night while everyone's sleeping, and that's one of the things we insist on. If you're going to go camp, don't pitch your tent under a bow or in an ambush area, and make sure that one person at least is always on guard. That's just common sense.
Take shifts if you have to. And War Chief says, plus whistling gives away your position. It sure does, especially that whooping or that tree knocking.
Yeah.
And that's another channel would say do that or to gift. But if you're whistling, whooping, tree knocking, you're letting these predators, and there's more than one, know exactly where you're at.
Edward, we haven't talked to them in a while. We pray for them too.
Yeah, and also let's keep the questions and the comments to the topic on what we're talking about.
Cube says, agreed, Jerry. These kinds of friends are a real danger in their own communities. Yeah, they don't even know. They think they're thinking. They think they're funny. They think they're correct. And I mean, we personally know people who've had their loved ones. One of them, a Bigfoot tried to snatch him out of the tub when he was a little boy. Reached in the window, and had he not been so slippery, would have gotten him. Another friend in current times in the CASHAPP forest area, one of their loved ones didn't take him seriously, went into the woods, ended up raped, beaten, poked with sticks, naked, no shoes, no glasses, and is now suicidal. It's horrifying. And then what do you do when you can't get a therapist to believe what you're saying, and they just want to drug you up and make you follow the script?
Tracker J, I think Scott's saying Tracker J. Tracker Lorna saying, God bless everybody. Hey, there's Snooty.
Sooty.
Oh,
Not
I'm
Snooty.
sorry. I just couldn't read that.
Sooty's not snooty at
Sooty,
all. How
Sooty.
you doing, Sooty?
My
Those
apologies.
letters are pretty small on that screen.
Yeah, on this screen here.
Good to see you too, Sooty.
And Tracker Lorna saying everyone stay safe and have a great night. Judy's
You
put
too,
some hearts
Lorna.
up. Everything you too. To Lorna, Tracker Lorna. Sooty, I can say that now. Says,
Sooty, like think of soot on a fireplace.
Sooty, okay.
Sooty.
She says, Jerry, do you know why people smell things like ammonia when predators manifest into the realm? I would love to know what processes happen scientifically if it's related to their manifestation. Well, a lot of people don't. Did you watch the end? Did you watch the end where we're at the fire talking about the translucent wall?
Yeah, they
Also in the video, when we're at the top of the mountain, we're talking about those scents and where they come from.
Yeah,
So,
they were just dropping. Go back and watch it,
yeah,
and
I
it
would
will
just-
explain.
Yeah, go back and we explain it there.
And she says, sorry, my question's probably off topic, just dropped in. Glad you're here,
Oh,
though.
but your answers are in the video. Just go
Yeah,
back and watch the
yeah.
video. Let's see.
They're laughing at you,
Cubator.
calling her snooty.
Oh, I'm sorry about that. Cubinator says, I think those sorts of Bigfoot advisors are idiots. We do too, and they're going to get people hurt, and we don't want that. And that's like tomorrow, when you join us tomorrow, we're talking to our family. You know, we don't know who they're talking to or who they're giving advice to, but our family knows. So we want to keep our families safe, just like we want to keep many families safe. But if people are running off listening to these other people who are guessing, giving their opinion, their maybes, there might be, could be's, they're going to just realize they don't know.
We even want to keep the idiots safe.
Yeah, if they
Just
listen.
if they're choosing to, and an idiot would be somebody who's rejecting information. That's unwise.
It is.
But we even want to keep them safe because most of them are responsible for other people. And we just hope, God works on their eyes and ears.
Is that Tracker J is going to have to hit the side?
Good night, Tracker J and
Good
Mama
night, Tracker
Bear.
J. She said that she will go back and check it out. That video is you could probably skip to the midway point of that video, but I would watch the entire thing.
Yeah, you'll like the whole thing.
And
But turn the volume down
watch-
as soon as we start playing it. Well, we warn you in the video.
well, yeah, watch the volume on that one, and not
But
Tracker
Warchief
J
did like that
and Mama
music.
Bear. All right, so it's good, and thank you again, Jody. We do appreciate that so
We
much.
sure do.
Cubinator, thank you again. Also, let's see what War Chief is saying.
The link for Cube's Facebook page is up there in the chat. Catch it before it goes down if you want to join that.
War Chief says tomorrow evening will be a great showing. It sure will be because we're talking to our little ones. We're not, and you got to understand that we don't know who these other channels are talking to.
Yeah.
But if you was talking to your little ones, you would tell your little ones the truth. You would want them as safe as possible. You would say, if you see this, you tell us.
Yes.
You
When if
get a
you
hold of
listen to
us.
this, good night, Scott.
Oh, good night, Scott.
If you listen to last night's stream, if you haven't watched it yet, that whole story is about the children and the grandchildren of the man that asked us for help in Smithville.
Yeah.
And no, I'm sorry, not Smithville. Wright City.
Wright City.
There's some things wrong in Wright City. Go listen to that interview because it's everything that we're talking about. And they're tapping on his children's window. They're at the corners of the home peeking around. Their little 3-year-olds thinks these things are her friend. That's the level of the situation. And he lives up in the middle of town. I think it's one of the best interviews we've had.
Yeah.
They're all good, but it's very, very timely.
And he's also reporting it. Other people in the area are reporting it too. So he's not alone, and we know him.
We'll be following up with him.
Yeah, we'll be following up with him. Let's see. Judy saying good night.
Good night, everyone. This has been absolutely needed for our children.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
tomorrow night, too, be here with us at 7 p.m. Central Time Zone tomorrow. You're going to listen to how we are with our children. We take our children out.
And even have them watch it with you.
Yeah, it's child friendly,
Get your
especially
children.
tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
You're going to
And
hear
then-
the children asking those questions.
And it'll start a conversation, and then you can take what you've learned from us from there. But they'll learn from the.
We want
from
our family, our children, our children. We're not just talking to people out viewing who are still throwing a quarter up and saying maybe this, maybe that. We're telling our children exactly what to look for, where
Not
they're going
trying
to
to-
find it.
Yeah.
Maybe our children is just tougher than other children. Maybe, because they didn't bat an eye. They wanted to know. And we
Yeah, they
showed them.
wanted somebody telling them because they've already seen things.
Yeah. And we were lucky enough to be there with them, made it there, and we took them out and we showed them. And you're going to see some of that video tomorrow. Well, actually, all the video that we have, because we had to go back and forth. Plus, you're going to hear some conversations of our family and things like that. And we hope that you join us tomorrow and just listen to how we're talking to our own kids, our own children, our own family.
Families, children, yeah.
Yep.
I wish
Yeah.
I had known this with my children when they were younger, which I was honest with them about spiritual type things, but they were already grown to know. And then they tell me stories of the things that they were seeing in the woods that I didn't know until years later. But I wish we had been talking about that. But talking to my little grandson, he listens. He gets it. He understands.
And
Doesn't bat an eye.
And that was great too with our family, that they didn't bat an eye. They wanted to know, and we told them, and we just told them what to look for and what we're going to find, and they went out and did that work. While we're walking through, they're saying, "There's one, there's one, there," and you're going to hear that tomorrow.
Yeah.
We don't want to get too far ahead and talk about all that tonight. So,
Okay. And Kathy Galbraith just came in and says,
how you doing,
okay,
Kathy? How you doing?
we're not running out on you. And
Yeah.
hopefully you've been in here the whole time. But we're going to go ahead and say prayer and close for the evening. You know, because everybody's going to bed already. Okay. Thank you, Lord. Give everybody a good rest and a good sleep. Thank you for everybody that you brought here, Lord, and let them have receiving ears and eyes and help them to understand how important this is, and that you don't warn us for no good reason. Your warnings are all throughout the Bible. These things are talked about in the Bible, Lord, just in all through history, and by people who had never even heard of the Bible. They've been talking about them. Lord, help people to understand what's going on and the seriousness of it, and that it's honestly, it's all coming to a head. Lord, help them to understand that and prepare their families, prepare their children and their grandchildren. Keep them protected, Lord. Let us take care of our elders and help them too. They tried to warn people, and a lot of them are begging for help and for someone to listen to them about what's going on out there. Lord, don't let them be dismissed any more than you let the children be dismissed. Lord, let the husbands stand up and be protectors for their families, and not let so much fall on the shoulders of the women. But Lord, we're all built for it, and we can all take it, and just continue to show us what to do and how to do it. And we love you, Lord. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Okay, so everyone, join us tomorrow when you're going to hear us talking to our youth, our kids, our family. And we don't give them one guess. We don't give them one opinion, and we don't say maybe, could be, should be. We tell them directly because they're our kids, our family. If people don't give the kids the truth, give the elders the truth, support them, we may lose
You're
them.
doing them a disservice, and
We
if
may
something
lose them.
happens to you, who's going to teach them? So do it while you've got the opportunity.
Teach, and all of our trackers do that. So I'm going to wish everyone a good night. Let me go ahead and set this up.
What are you setting up?
I need to get to,
Tomorrow night at 7.
tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone. Join us as we talk to our family, our children, our young ones.
And if you have young ones, have them watching too.
It's child friendly.
Yep.
We want everybody to know tomorrow. So
No.
have a good night,
Good night,
Warriors. We'll see you tomorrow, 7 p.m. Central Time Zone.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for being here. Are we moving?
So beautiful.
Are we moving?
So weird. The effect's not quite the same on film. So we're on our way in a snowstorm to go try to find someone that's lost in the woods, you'll say a prayer.